Hi, Carlos. We're waiting for Isabel. Hi, Jorge. Here we go.
Haven't had a problem with this for a while.
Hi, Brian. Hi, Hefe. We're just waiting for Isabel. Good morning, Phil. Nice to see you. Where's Isabel?
She's on
Hey,
the.
Tom. She's there.
Tell her to
It's not
request.
working.
Tell her to request.
Oop. Tell her to request. Request. Oh, there we go. Yay. All right. Sec. There we go. Yay! It's my cohort in crime.
What kind of crime?
It's like I can't function without you. It's like Batman without Robin, It just doesn't work. Alrighty, so welcome everybody to another session of Facebook Live. It is Dee from Sunnyvale and Isabel from
Fort Worth, Texas.
Yay! Hi everyone. Hi Marek. Hi Jorge. Oh, and Adam is joining us too. And we are here and we are ready for any of your questions. So fire away.
I
Hi
have a
Jasmine.
question.
Uh-oh. Okay. What's your question?
On the billing page, there's a reference to something about expedited floor plans. Are there plans for
Yeah.
that?
So expedited floor plans is something that we have, but you have to be on an enterprise account to get that feature.
Oh, no fair.
So, well, you could sign up for an enterprise account.
Are there plans to roll it out to the general public?
I don't know.
Because there's been a lot of requests of people who have urgent needs, like
Yeah,
this one particular client whose house is on sale tomorrow and they really want it.
yeah,
So I hope that is something that can be considered.
yep. And I will definitely pass that information along. Hey, hi, Jeff Johnson. Nice to see you. All right, did we get a question? I think we got a question.
Oh, I've gotten this question a lot actually. So on usually in the old days, on the left panel on the top
Yeah,
where there's the user's information, there
yep,
was a button to toggle the meta tags on and off,
yep,
and that is somehow gone. And so several people have asked me if I know where that was.
yep, yep. It's gone.
So why is it gone? It was useful.
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know. I don't think that they're planning on bringing that back, and I don't know why they did it. I can ask and certainly get back to you on that.
So some people like to put a lot of matter tags, like hundreds.
Yeah,
And so that creates a cluttered view of the scenery. And so it's nice to let people have an unobstructed view of the scenery.
yeah. So is that something that you can do in MP Embed? Just turn them all off?
Oh, that shouldn't be required. You can also add a URL parameter. If you add an MT equals 0, then,
Hmm.
but that's not something on the end user's end.
Yeah,
And so it would be nice to allow the client who did not create the space
yeah,
to do
yeah.
that.
All right, so Tom asks, I recently scanned a house. I did some 360s. When placing on map, they initially started way off in left field, literally. Is there a way to make 360s more accurately placed? So they are definitely working on that. If it's incorrectly placed, you can always go to workshop and move them. Yeah, but sometimes it does get a little crazy. Sorry about that. And we know about that, and they're definitely working on that. So Mike Rady says, workshop is still a mess. Will the legacy run past June the 1st? So I actually have some good news.
Yay!
So you can remove the date June 1st from your minds. That date's not going to change anything. And I will, as of right now, I don't have any times that I can give you as to when what will happen, but you're going to get more time. And I'll give you, so yeah, so, but okay, so what I want to do is encourage everybody to try to use the new showcase for all of your spaces going forward, because at some point showcase 2 will be obsoleted. So start moving towards that. I use it all the time. I think it's great. I like it. Yes, there are issues, but when you run into those, contact support, because we need to know them so that we can fix them. I know that the engineers are busy trying to get everything in order before we take it out of beta, and they're very aware of that. So yeah, so give us feedback. We'd love that. Yep. So you can not worry about June the 1st. But again, please, if you can, start using the new showcase.
So Debbie wanted to know if there are classes, and Debbie, Dee did record a little tutorial a few weeks ago, so I will send you the link afterwards.
So what kind of classes?
For the new workshop. Remember that tutorial you did about how the features work? Yes, we have that. Question from Joe, an iPad is filling up. How do you move the scans? I have a video for that too by Ken Tabor in Austin. He made a great video about iMazing, about how to move scans off your iPad onto your computer. And from there, you can move it back to your iPad or onto a different iPad, or even share it with a friend. So it is super helpful and free.
Yay! All right, so you'll post a link to that video that you have?
Yes, Ken posted it a while ago, and people ask for it all the time. So I will repost it.
I also have a document that I typed up that tells you how to do that, and I can post that as well. So remind me of that.
Trey wants to know if old scans will work with new showcase. No, that's not true. The new scans the old scans, even the ones that you did in 2015, will still work. But if you created previous highlight reels, then what happens? Do they, the pan direction will automatically change? So you may have set up things to work a certain way, but the new showcase highlight reels work a little differently. So it may not be panning in the direction you expect, but the scans themselves will still work completely perfectly, no problem.
Yeah, so the theory is you should be able to change between Showcase 3, Showcase 2 interchangeably, but as Isabel said, she's correct. The panning in the highlight reel doesn't always pan the same way, so you could end up with the situation where if you were originally panning this way, now you're panning that way and you're panning right to a wall or something. So, you know, I mean, and we're trying to figure out how to help people go from Showcase 2 with their highlight reels to Showcase 3.
It would be great to preserve it. Krista Abel said that she has 200 highlight reels.
I know.
Where the pan directions are bad. And so that's a lot to ask someone to re-snapshot and redo.
Yeah, I hear you. I'm fighting for you guys.
I know.
I'll let you know what happens. But yeah, I agree. So let's, I mean, but we're listening. We hear you. And I'll get back to you guys when I have some more definite timelines. But for right now, everything stays as is.
Yay.
Yep.
So Mike Ratty wants an address book. Can we have an address book?
An address book of?
Well, let's say that you regularly do scans for 4 different people and you have their emails and addresses and, you know, presented by typed in. Is there a way to save this so that you can just select one of these people instead of retyping it every time? It can save, there's a default, which is just one default, but can you have 5, 10, 20 defaults if you regularly do business with multiple people?
That is a great feature request. So write into support or DM me directly and I will get that entered in for you. But yeah, that's a great idea.
Debbie wants it too.
Yeah, and the more people that want it, I'll just put it in the feature request, and then that sort of bumps it up the queue. And our product team is looking at the feature requests. So yeah, there's definitely movement in that direction as well. So that's good, right?
What about vertical trim? I think there's about 7,000
Yeah.
requests.
Yeah,
Where is that?
they're definitely considering that. I don't know the status of it, but we've heard you. Yeah,
All right.
and you're right.
Can
That's
be
very
done.
popular.
It can be done in recap, right?
Hi, Justin. In Legacy Workshop, can I take a snapshot of the dollhouse looking straight down?
No, I don't think so.
And can center it nicely on the screen. In New Workshop, I can only rotate and cannot center. The 3D model is locked in place and cannot be centered. It should be the same with both. You can take you can go to the floor plan view. You can look down at the dollhouse. Yeah, to some extent you can. So yeah, if you're having problems with that, Justice, write to support and we'll walk you through that and we'll help you with that. Guided tours come with 2 modes. Where do I select in New Workshop? Oh, Phil, that's a great question. So when you go to the highlight reel, so first you have to be in Showcase 3. You go from preview to edit mode by moving the slider that's on this other side for you guys, on the left-hand side, and then on the right-hand side, you'll see pop up the little icons. You look for the highlight reel icon, which looks like a little film strip. And then there's a cog on the upper right corner for settings, and you can choose slideshow or walk through there. That's where you change it.
Question from a few bat from Teresa. Yes, iMazing works for both PC and Mac for the moving of scans.
So
go ahead.
Jorge is having troubles logging into the MSP portal. If you have some problems with that, contact support because we can help you reset it if something goes wrong. It would be nice. So Robert says it would be nice to send notifications to clients through Matterport when a property is moved into
their folder. Yes, I've had this situation often. So I added these clients as collaborators and they each have a folder. And when I move something in, it would be nice for them to hear that, hey, Isabel has, or even for when they move things into the account, like if there's activity. So right now, no one gets notified.
Yeah.
Only the person who uploaded the scan gets notified, but nobody else.
Yeah. Okay. So write into support. We'll file a feature request for you. I mean, that's a good ask as well. Yep.
We have so many requests, don't we?
Jorge, you contacted support 3 days ago. Jorge, I will look into this for you as soon as we get out of here. Let me take a note. Okay.
George wants to get into the multifamily program in Scan for Matterport. How does one sign up for that?
So we have a separate team that works on that. You can, I will contact you personally, George, later and talk to you about that. But I would have to put you in contact with that team because that's not something that support does. Debbie, hi Debbie. Can they put an arrow down next to the reel so people know they can push down all the reel photos? Oh, there is one, right?
I think so, isn't there? Maybe it looks
different. There should be a button at the bottom left corner where you can either have the highlight reel go down or come up. Yeah, Jorge, no problem.
Tom wants to know why you don't get a fancy background when you're on by yourself without RJ.
It's actually my choice. I prefer this room. We're just in a different room because I think the acoustics are a little better. I think the sound in the other room was a problem. So, but yeah, if you guys really want the background, I can go back to that room.
We love
I'll
you just the
consider
way
it.
you are.
Which, you don't like this lovely blue background? Adam's
It's
laughing at me.
lovely. So Phil wants to know about matter tag icons. Like we have asked for a shopping icon, a sound icon, and such, and also about analytics. That's a huge thing for me. I would love to give people better analytics of who's
Yeah.
viewing their space. And the way things are now, it's kind of baffling actually. The number of views and visitors and page loads, but it doesn't tell you very much.
Yeah, you're right. And we've heard you, and those are definitely 2 feature requests that we know about. And we're actually, I know that they're actually talking about it. So there's movement on that. I don't have any dates as to when they will be available or if they will, but definitely it's on our radar.
Awesome.
Yep.
Oh, Austin has an awesome feature request. If you have multiple iPads or an iPad or iPhone, shouldn't we be able to airdrop Matterport capture projects?
Right.
Because
so
the same thing happened to me. Like you're somewhere and you only have your iPhone, so you make do and do your scan, but really you don't want it there. You want to go home and be able to do the markings on your iPad.
Yeah, so you're basically asking for a backup
for
feature.
Movement, for airdrop,
and you could move it from movement. And we've heard that too, and I know that they're thinking about that.
All right, yay. Yep. Robert also wants stats.
I know, I hear you, I know. Me too, and Mike too. I know, guys, I've heard you, trust me.
So Matterport used to have this thing called the Maddie Awards, and people were asking the other day, is this award still being held? Because people want to win.
So yeah, so when RJ was on one time with me, he did promise that they were going to bring back the Maddie Awards, and I did nudge them again and bring that up. So I'll bring that up again and make sure we have that. But RJ said that we would do that, so we're going to do it.
All right, awesome.
Hey, Teddy, nice to see you. But yeah, I've seen some really cool spaces that would be excellent for the Maddie Awards. Any update on trim ceilings? Not yet. That's the vertical, I'm sorry, the horizontal trim. So people want to be able to trim this way instead of this way. So like if I have a bunch of mesh on top. So sometimes if you have like a warehouse that you're scanning or a building that has like pipes on the ceiling, those pipes create 3D data, and so it looks messy when you're in the dollhouse view. And so the ability to trim that out is what people are asking for. So yeah.
So lacking that, so on Matterport's spec sheet, it is said that the max range of Pro 1s and Pro 2s are 15 feet. And so if your ceiling is if you're on a 5-foot tripod and your ceiling is more than 20 feet, then the dollhouse ceiling will look messy. And so in this case, since there's no trim, the only solution for you is to bring a taller tripod.
Oh, if you want to catch the entire ceiling.
Yes, because if you don't want, because like in the cathedral, for instance, you have part of the dome but not the others, so it looks flaky and weird. The only way to prevent that is to bring a very, very tall tripod.
And they are out there. They exist. In fact, Hubcam sells one, and it's pretty rugged. So go to his website. I think it's gibbetmount.com.
Gibbetmount.com, yes. You can get a 24-foot tripod.
Yep. And we've tried it. It works. But yeah, but there are also people that are in these like office buildings that have pipes in the ceiling, so they're not finished ceilings. And so in the dollhouse, you see those, and they're typically lower, and it makes it a little bit more messy when you're looking at the dollhouse view. There's a lot of like black mesh, and people want to remove that. So that would be a great use of the horizontal trim tool. Teddy asks, what about manual blurring?
What do you want to blur?
We don't have it.
But is it on the roadmap to blur anything else or to allow selective blurring?
So we have been so yeah, they're working on it.
So the way I envision this working is when you're scanning and capture, there could, in addition to trim, there can be a blur feature like in the trim menu.
Yeah.
And so it gives you a dot, and on that dot you can apply blur to whatever object you circle.
Yeah, we're not quite there yet. I mean, in an ideal case, that would be exactly what you could do. I know that in EMEA, they want the ability to blur out license plates. So, definitely working on that. Gibbet mount is out of stock. Oh, Teresa, I'm so sorry. I think the issue is that, yeah, there's one part of it that's still kind of like holding things up. I will personally reach out to John Hubbard and kick his butt and tell him to get those, because yeah, a lot of people want them. I'll talk to him about that.
In the meantime, Manfrotto sells a 20-foot tripod, a 24-foot tripod. It is very, very heavy, and so not really great for everyday use.
That's like a good workout.
It is so heavy. And if you need a lower height, the Manfrotto light stands, I think the model number is 1040 BAC. It goes up to 12 feet, and that is actually lightweight and cheap, $100. So a possible option.
Yeah, cool. Jan! Hi, Jan! Can you advise on what to do? It just rolled off my screen.
Oh, you missed the earlier announcement, Jan. So Dee says that the June 1st has been pushed back, so you don't have to worry right immediately. And the developers are aware that Showcase 2 is not transferring over well, so we are waiting for their update, but nothing is happening on June 1st.
Yeah, so don't worry. You're okay for now. Aw, hi, Sherry. Oh, Chris Hickman is joining us. Hi, Chris.
Mike Manson asked, does Matterport have a suggestion on how to make the portfolio without tapping the scan limit in a new pricing?
Houses.
And so basically, he had the same concern that I was telling you and Damien about, that, some people have a portfolio of a wide variety of scans, and with the new plans, it is hard to, when you only have 25 or 50 active limits, it's hard to have a representative sample of places that have been scanned or can be scanned. So it's just something for Matterport to consider.
So if you're currently on a classic plan, which has higher limits, then stay on your classic plan. Don't move. If you don't do anything, you'll stay there. So
Laura also has a question about the highlight reel. Laura, I will post these tutorial later on how to use the edit mode, and that shows how things work.
So the new way to create a highlight reel is a little different than the old way. It used to be where you would take a snapshot, and each of those pictures that you took a snapshot of would appear, and then you would just select them and drag them down into the highlight reel. That doesn't happen anymore. Right now, what you do is you actually go to where you would have taken the snapshot, but instead it just creates that scan position in the highlight reel, and it doesn't create a snapshot. So if you want to have a snapshot of that as well, you have to just toggle between the highlight reel and the snapshot icons on the right, and then you can take snapshots of that as well. It's a little bit different. I know that the product team has heard the input that people want to want to have a snapshot as well. And so they actually are talking about that and looking into that. Oh, and here we go. Is it possible to export all 360 photos in one go?
No, it is not. So there's no such thing as 360 photos in Matterport. When you do a 360 view, it does not create a photo. There's no photo unless you take a snapshot in Workshop. So you actually have to manually go in edit mode and take a snapshot before Matterport assembles the components of it and creates a snapshot for you. So, and because it doesn't exist as one single photo, the scan points.
Yeah, so if you take a panorama, which is a 3D snapshot of any scan, it can be a 360 view or a 3D scan, you then get what's called an equirectangular file. And I think Lee Howe is asking, can you download those all at once? You cannot do that in Matterport, but according to Chris Hickman, you can do that in MP Embed. So there you go. Check out MP Embed. Is there any way to hide the 360 photo green dot when you're in front of a house that has a 360 photo in the back? That's a good question, Matt. Actually, that's a known issue that our engineering team is working on. So if you have the front of a house and you have a 360 that's in the back, you shouldn't be able to see through the house, but right now you can. And so, yeah, they're working on that.
I know Mary has really, really, really wanted to use Ruby. So do we have anything?
Yeah, I don't have any updates for you on that. I'm so sorry. Yeah. And Jan, you ask a good question too. Will we ever be able to download the 360 panos or the 3D snapshots in high res? We're considering that. Again, I don't have an answer for you.
So currently they are accessible, but at additional cost. If you use Go Through for Google Street View, then as soon as you publish your tour to Google Street View, you can extract the full-size panos from Go Through. But this shouldn't be necessary because obviously the data is there. And so why we have to go through 2 extra providers to access them, it seems kind of silly.
Yeah.
And the Matterport, the 360 photos, the snapshots that we do download from Matterport, I've gotten several complaints that the clients expected higher quality.
Yeah.
And so that is not nice.
Yep, and it's something we are considering. If you do pull off the 3D panos from Google Street View, they are 8K, so they're very high res. Okay. Somebody asked a question about whether you can move from classic to classic. That is something that was actually requested of the executive team. They are considering something. I don't know what the answer will be to that, but as of right now, you cannot move from classic to classic. You can stay on the plan that you're currently on, or you can move to the new plans.
Dominic has a good question. So is it possible to copy 360s from previous upload? So if you re-upload a scan, then I believe the 360 views can be copied, but the highlight reel and the matter tags cannot be copied, right?
All right, so here's the deal. If you want to move 360 views from one space to another, we can do that on the back end. We have to reprocess the space, so you'll get a brand new link and a brand new space in your account. Now, if the only thing you're doing is copying over 360 views to an existing space, or if you're just adding more trims, windows, mirrors, any more markings, then we can transfer the highlight reel, the snapshots, the matter tags, the labels we can copy them over for you. If you change any of the fundamental 3D data, like if I repair something for you, so like one of the scans is in the wrong location and I move it for you, at that point you're changing the fundamental 3D data of that space, then you can no longer copy the metadata, which is the snapshots, highlight reel, and all that, right? So that's the rule. But if you want that done, you have to contact support.
So I have a suggestion on that. So So the first time it happened to me, I was completely taken by surprise. When you re-upload a space, you do lose all your matter tags, and I don't think it's made clear enough so that people are aware of that.
Oh, so that you lose all the work you did in workshop when you reprocess, when you
Mm-hmm.
re-upload. Yeah. I believe it does say that in our help center. And so, yeah, don't do any work in workshop until you're happy with the model that you have. But in the case that you have put in all this work and you just want to add a marking because you're like, oh, I forgot to mark the mirror or whatever, then you contact support and we'll copy that over for you. Right. But make sure you're not doing more than just like if you add a scan, then
Right, don't
then
forget
all bets
it.
are off. And if you don't tell us what you've done or you forget that you've added some scans, then it'll break the space that we copy into. So just be careful. But will the 360 to 3D conversion ever actually work?
They do. Hey, Ted, Craig Sauer and Tom Rash have some really great examples where they not only work, but the pools have beautiful blue in the
Mm-hmm.
dollhouse. So it can happen, but they both said that it is challenging. It doesn't always work because when you're outside, Matterport is studying the past data and using it to extrapolate. And so there's not a whole lot of successful outdoor scans for Matterport to extrapolate from. And so hopefully as time goes on and there are more successful examples, it'll do better.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry about support taking longer to answer your questions. We're working on getting better. Sorry. All right. We're roughly at about the half-hour point. I think we've answered a lot of questions today. A lot of you have joined. Thank you so much for spending the time with us. Again, thank you, Isabel, for taking time out of your day. You are so awesome. And you're very knowledgeable. So yeah, if you have any other questions, you can hit me or Isabel up and we'd be more than happy to help you. And then next week we'll be on again at the same time, same place. Isabel and
Same
I.
G.
And we hope you'll join us then. Until then, have a great week and thanks for joining. Bye.